To the Gestapo, she was a ghost, elusive, untouchable, unstoppable. They called her the White Mouse, a name born from frustration as she slipped through their fingers time and again. But to those who knew her, Nancy Wake was more than just a code name. She was fire wrapped in silk, charm cloaked in steel, and the very definition of fearless. Born in New Zealand in 1912 and raised in Australia, Nancy Wake never cared much for rules. At 16, she ran away from home, hungry for adventure. That hunger took her first to New York, then London, and finally to Paris, where she became a journalist covering the early rumblings of Nazi brutality. What she saw in Germany planted the seeds of a personal war, one that would define the rest of her life. In France, she met and married Henri Fiocca, a wealthy industrialist. They settled in Marseille, and for a time it seemed Nancy had found peace. But when Hitler's forces stormed into France in 1940, Nancy didn't hesitate. While others fled, she chose to fight. With nerves of ice and a heart wired for resistance, she joined the French underground. Her mission was to help Allied airmen trapped behind enemy lines escape to neutral Spain. Leading them over the treacherous Pyrenees, she became a master of disguise and deception. German patrols couldn't touch her. She was always one step ahead. By 1942, Nancy had become one of the most wanted resistance agents in France. Her network was betrayed, and with her name high on the Gestapo's list, she was forced to flee. Slipping through Spain, she eventually made it to Britain, but not before tragedy struck. Her beloved Henri was captured, tortured, and executed for refusing to give up her whereabouts. Nancy would later say, "Henri was the love of my life. Nothing could make up for that." Grief didn't break her. It hardened her resolve. Recruited by the British Special Operations Executive, SOE, Nancy trained in weapons, explosives, and hand-to-hand combat. In 1944, she parachuted back into France, armed, trained, and furious. She coordinated supply drops, organized sabotage missions, and led attacks against German installations. When Allied radio codes were lost, she volunteered to cycle over 300 miles across Nazi territory to retrieve replacements. She did it in 72 hours. There was a story she liked to tell, almost with a smirk, about killing a German sentry with a single blow. "They taught us that judo chop thing at SOE," she recalled in a TV interview decades later. "I practiced it constantly, but I only had to use it once. And it worked." Perhaps even more daring was her ability to charm her way past checkpoints. "A little powder, a little drink, and I'd flirt my way through," she told the Australian. "I'd say, 'Do you want to search me?' I was a cheeky little devil." By war's end, Nancy Wake had become one of the Allies' most decorated women. The French awarded her the Croix de Guerre 3 times. Britain, the US, and even Australia eventually followed with their own honors, though she once dryly remarked that her own country was a bit slow on the uptake. She never remarried. "I had one love of my life," she said, "and he died for France." Nancy Wake passed away in London in August 2011 at the age of 98. To the end, she remained unapologetically bold, defiant, and full of fire. She was the White Mouse who roared.